Hey guys, this is the Auto Enthusiast, and today we're looking at the 2013 Scion FR-S. We're going to do an in-depth review, check out the interior, and take it for a test drive. Stay tuned. The Scion FR-S is a close cousin of the Subaru BR-Z. They are essentially the same sports coupe. The FR-S distinguishes itself from the BR-Z with a different rear suspension tune and a different body kit. There are also a few other things that distinguish the two. The 2013 FR-S has a 2-liter flat-4 boxer engine that produces 200 horsepower and 151 pounds-per-feet of torque. This nimble coupe is rear-wheel drive and gets most of its power in higher RPM ranges. It goes 0 to 60 in 6.2 seconds and has a quarter-mile time of 15.6 seconds. The FR-S has a low center of gravity due to the location of the engine and weighs in at 2,758 pounds. It gets 19 miles to the gallon in the city and 27 miles to the gallon on the highway. The FR-S has a very aggressive look to it. It is a low car and attracts a lot of attention on the road. The dual exhaust is very attractive, and the car definitely appeals to a younger generation. The trunk space is pretty good for a sports car. Space is definitely maximized with such a small coupe. The FR-S has a pretty standard key fob. The overall interior of this car is actually really nice. I'm very sports-oriented, coupe-oriented. I really feel like I'm in a sports car. I'm low to the ground. It's a very tight cockpit. The overall interior is a little cheap. There's some very hard plastics. The arm on the door is comfortable. It's not too hard. There is a cushiony surface. As for on the actual door itself, it covers this hard plastic. Overall, it's a nice interior. I think it's optimized for driver usage. I don't think they're trying to make it an upscale car. I think it's all about the driver. There's nothing really focused about anyone else. The steering wheel in this car is nice. It's got a nice leather wrap with red stitching, and it's a very attractive wheel. It's very basic. There's nothing on it, no buttons. Very comfortable to hold. There's no lower hold grip, which, you know, I find myself using that a lot, but, I mean, this is still comfortable, and it's very comfortable to hold here. And the paddle shifters are nice. They are plastic, but they do have a gray tint to them, which makes them attractive, especially with the red and black scheme of the wheel. The gauges in this car are really attractive. I really like the digital speedometer. Now the interior is pretty good. The Scion Pioneer system is kind of like, it looks aftermarket. I like the way it's set up. It actually has a really nice roll in the interior, making it a very driver-oriented car. I don't like some of the controls on it. They feel a little cheap, but the overall system looks good. Now moving down to the actual temperature controls and all that stuff, these are very, very awkward to use. There's quite a bit of resistance when using them, and I think Scion could have done a better job. Now the actual shifter knob is fantastic. It looks a lot like a manual transmission shifter. It's pretty simple. It's perforated to the side. Very easy to use, very attractive, especially with the leather fitting here. And the adjustments here are great. You can switch it to sport mode, snow mode, the track mode, or just take traction control off. And the parking brake is easy to use and isn't too noisy. One thing I like to do before actually taking this thing out, taking the car out into the road, is kind of drive around the dealer parking lot to get a feel of what the gas is like and how the car actually idles and moves. And I do a little not acceleration, but I move forward, I do some reverse, just to get a general feel of how the car actually idles. Now, this car moves really quickly without any pressure on the gas. The actual idle speed is pretty quick. It's not, obviously it's not quick, but it's at like 4 or 5 miles per hour. Which is pretty nice. I actually like that, so you're kind of riding the brake. Personally, I like that because it kind of shows that the car is a little bit peppy, and I like that. Alright, we're coming out here. We are in sport mode with the Shiftronic, and we're going to see what this thing can do. So yeah, this thing has great pickup. It's really quick. The pickup's really quick. I got up to 55 into second gear. It's an exciting car. It really, you know, there's not a ton of pull. It's not a turbo, and you notice that driving it, but it's loud. You get up to speed. Again, the way your body feels in the car when you accelerate is a little disappointing, just because you're not thrown back into your seat. But that acceleration is awesome. You know, you're shifting at like 6.5, 7,000 RPM comfortably. This car is designed to shift like that when you are flooring it. And I love that, you know. I love that high RPM range shifting. And again, I got to 55 in second gear. Like, I was making my shift into third gear when I reached 55. And that is fantastic. Now, the way this car feels on the road, it is rough, but in a good way. I feel connected to the road. I feel like I'm in a low coupe. It's a fun car with the feeling to the road. And the handling, it's pretty good. There's a lot of pull when you're turning. It is a low car, but when I'm turning, I feel like I'm going around a rotary to the left, and I feel like I'm really being pulled to the right, which is fun. But again, it kind of like, it might get a little bit annoying after a while. Again, another great thing is the suspension. I am bouncing, not in a bad way. Like, every time I hit a bump, the suspension is correcting that bump and making it a small bounce, and it's great. The steering is also really heavy. I'm very excited about the steering. I'm very surprised. It's much heavier than I thought it would be, and I love heavy steering. I absolutely love it. We are gonna go out and do another acceleration here. I have a freeway, and here we go. Yeah, this thing has great acceleration. It's awesome. I noticed that when you start, before I started from 0 in that first acceleration, and this one I started at about 5 miles an hour, it's a little slow to begin with. The car wants to kind of comfortably figure out where it can launch. So it takes a second, even if you're in first gear, and then it engages, and that engagement is really fun. It's just fantastic. Another thing, I'm switching lanes, and wow, like, you feel like you're moving one with the car when you switch lanes. It's super fun. And this being low on the road is kind of nice. I've also noticed that at higher speeds, like when you're at 45 and so, and you need to speed up a little bit, it has great response and great pickup from that higher range. You don't really see that in these 4 cylinders. But with this car, it's really fun. Braking could be tighter, especially for kind of a sports performance coupe. The braking is a little bit soft. Overall comfort as a driver is pretty good. I'm pretty comfortable in a car. It's a very tight seat. I thought I would be uncomfortable, but it holds me really well and aims me towards the steering wheel. And the actual where the shifting knob is really comfortable. There's no armrest, so my arm's kind of like, where do I put it? But other than that, it's pretty comfortable. One more acceleration here. Yeah, that acceleration is super fun. Again, you're up to speeds in like second gear, and I love that. I love cars that can get to high RPM. That's just super fun. The one thing that I'd like to see with other kind of newer models is maybe something that pulls the driver a little more. It's a very loud car, but there isn't that pull. But this is a super fun car to drive, and I love the heavy steering. I can't emphasize that enough. The heavy steering is absolutely fantastic. You really understand what's happening on the road. Again, it is also low. You gotta kind of watch out with bumps. We are in New England, so it's a little tough. Can't really drive this thing in the snow, but other than that, it's a fun car. This would be an awesome summer car, and they look great. I've always loved the way Scion has made their cars look, especially the FR-S. It's very driver-oriented. It's very aesthetically pleasing. It's just the right level of aggressive. I really like it. I'm really surprised. I just wanted to thank Tony down at Besma Motors for providing us with this vehicle today. If you're interested in this vehicle, check out their inventory and give him a call. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Definitely leave comments and questions below. Let me know what your experience has been with this car. Please subscribe and check out some of our other reviews.